Namaste friends, welcome you all for the biology session. In today's class we can discuss about the chapter Animal Kingdom. So as we all know that compared to plants, the animals number which constitute more than 70% in the total biodiversity. What is it? Biodiversity, sum total of all living organisms present on this earth. So among those, animals, as we have described, up to 1.7 million organisms, I can say species, out of which 1.2 the million species are animals. And then 0.5 million species are plants. So in case of this, the animals forms a majority of the large number or majority in the living world. So to study this particularly, the animals is a large group. So better to have a level of organization. So we can say that level of organization or grades of organization. You know that these animals largely belongs to heterotrophs, right? So animals belongs to heterotrophs. They are dependent on other organisms. Because of this large number, so we can't study individually. So better to study. It's very difficult. So that is why we have certain levels of or you can say that the basis of classification. As we know that, so basis of classification includes mainly so that we can study these organisms or animals on these different based on different criteria, which includes one is levels of organization, what is it? Levels of organization. We can also say that biological level of organization, which generally cells group together to form tissues, and tissues group together to form organ group together to form organ systems group together to form organism. See, each and every organism is made up of cells, without which they can't be able to interact. First, those structural and functional unit of cell, unit of body, that is cells, should interact. These are the fundamental units. So what are those levels of organization? One is cellular level of organization, where you can say that cells are arranged as loose aggregates. Cells are arranged as loose aggregates. So in this, they won't form any tissue, and there will be division of labor. Means cells, group of cells perform particular function. This is a one group that perform one particular function. Or you can say that these cells will going to perform one function, as assume that they are going to help in respiration, and these cells will going to help in reproduction. Like that, these cells, there will be division of labor. And in this, we can say that the example, cellular level, seen in phylum sponges. Sponges are also called as porifera. Next is cells grouped together. There won't be division of labor, cells are aggregated to form tissue level of organization. So tissue level of organization, where it includes mainly cylindrics. So cells are grouped together to form tissue. So body comprises tissues which are with the same origin. Here you have to keep it in mind, these cells are not with the same origin, right? When they are with the same origin, to perform same function and structure, then only we can consider it as tissue. But here they are not with the same origin. But in this case, these cells are with the same origin and group together to form tissue. So now this tissue level will be there in the body. Cylindrites and what is that? Cnidarians. Cylindrites are also called as cnidarians. And in this, generally the tissue level of organization, we can also see that ctenophora. Next, organ level of organization. Organ level of organization, where you can say that your organs are grouped to form a functional system. Right? So organs, you can say that the tissue which will be grouped, tissue grouped into organs, and organs together perform specialized function, or you can say specialized for a particular function. So each and every organ, right, but they won't group together to form organ system. So example, in case of platyhelminthes, D, that is organ system level of organization. So we know that because of this level of organization, we are maintaining, human beings are maintaining supremacy. Each and every system is very well developed in the human being. So here organs are associated to form, right, organs grouped together to form that organ system. In this condition, you can see, right, where almost all the functions that performed by this system, right, and helps in control and coordination. So total physiological function, we can say that they are specific with physiological functions. Specific with physiological functions. So these are the different levels of organization. And one more, we can classify based on digestive system, complete or incomplete digestive system. So if digestive system may be complete or incomplete. So complete means where both mouth and anus present. Two openings are present, and here only one opening which serves as both mouth and anus. So this complete and incomplete, based on this we can say that cylindrites, platyhelminthes are the incomplete. Example for incomplete, cylindrites and platyhelminthes. And same like that here, in case of complete, Aschelminthes to chordates. Chordates. So these are the examples of complete and incomplete. And along with that, based on symmetry, we know that the animals can be classified based on symmetry. So, what is it symmetry? When those body parts which are organized along the longitudinal axis, if they give the two equal halves, when you cut the body along the longitudinal axis, if it gives two halves which are equal halves, then we'll say bilateral symmetry. Symmetry means arrangement of parts, body parts, or you can say that organs all along the length of the body. Right? The different types. One is bilateral symmetry. If body they cut by passing a plane through longitudinal axis, if it divides into two equal halves, then we can say bilateral symmetry. If it won't divide, won't form, that is asymmetry. Asymmetry. Right? So you can say that asymmetrical symmetry. So that is, it won't give two equal halves. Any plane that passes through the center of the body, that is longitudinal axis, cannot be able to divide into two equal halves. Example, we can say that sponges, right? Whereas in the bilateral, the symmetry, annelids, arthropods. In case of bilateral symmetry, annelids, arthropods, mollusks, echinoderms, including almost all chordates. So these are the examples for symmetry. What is that symmetry? That is arrangement of parts or organs along the longitudinal axis, or these in series, right, all along the longitudinal axis. So if any plane passing through the longitudinal axis, if it cuts body exactly into two equal halves, then bilateral. If it won't give two equal halves, asymmetrical symmetry. And one more. So in this case, you have to keep it in mind that radial symmetry, that is third type, radial symmetry, right? Any plane passing through the central axis of the body divides the organisms into two equal identical halves. Here you can say that any one plane, right? Here also, right? So if a plane can't be able to divide into two equal halves. Here any plane. Example, you can say that in case of the echinoderms, that is, which includes a starfish. So this pentaradiated arm. So any plane passing through the body that divides into any plane divides identical two halves. Here only one plane, bilateral symmetry. Any plane, radial symmetry. This can be seen in echinoderms, that too adult echinoderms. Echinoderm is adults. But here bilateral symmetry, that is in larvae. So, and there are based on germ layers. Germ layers means during gastrulation, during embryonic development, right, gastrula formation takes place. So gastrula, in which we can see these the layers. These are the basic the layers of the embryo. Further, they develops into these layers, which includes outer ectoderm, middle mesoderm, inner endoderm. So further these layers differentiate to produce or to form tissues and organs. That is through the process of embryogenesis. So there are mainly two, we can be classified animals based on germ layers, that is embryonic layers are called as germ layers. Animals can be classified into diploblastic animal, in which cells are arranged into two embryonic layers. Two embryonic layers, that is outer ectoderm, and so middle mesoderm is not differentiated, and inner endoderm. Inner endoderm. So this middle mesoderm, which is undifferentiated, right? Mesoderm which is undifferentiated, that is called as mesoglia. Mesoglia, undifferentiated layer present between the ectoderm and endoderm. So example can be seen in sponges and cylindrids. Examples are very important, sponges and cylindrids. And if three layers are present, that is triploblastic. So in case of triploblastic animals, we can see those animals in which the cells are arranged in three embryonic layers. Three embryonic layers. Three embryonic layers, as we know, the outer ectoderm. So now this mesoderm differentiates, mesoglia forms a mesoderm, and then inner endoderm. So here we can say, so triploblastic animals from platyhelminthes to, here sponges and cylindrids, and here from platyhelminthes to, right, chordates. Platyhelminthes, aschelminthes, annelids, arthropoda, echinodermata, right, so chordates. And platyhelminthes to chordates, important. And coelom. What is that coelom? It is a body cavity. Coelom is also called as body cavity. Mesodermal in origin. Mesodermal in origin. Mesodermal in origin. Body cavity which is mesodermal in origin on both sides is called as coelom. If you consider this is the coelom, on both sides it is lined by mesoderm. Hence we can say this cavity which is present is lined both internally and externally mesodermal layer. Hence it is called as the mesodermally originated cavity, that is body cavity. In some cavity is absent, they are called as acoelomates, animals. So all these level of the different basic criteria, or you can say that the factors which will be considered to classify the organism, because it is a large group, right? Acoelomates where cavity is absent, that is body cavity or coelom is absent. So example, sponges, cylindrids, platyhelminthes. Sponges, cylindrids, and then platyhelminthes. Next, pseudocoelomates. There will be coelom, right? Pseudocoelomates, animals in which coelom will be present but not completely, or you can say it is not lined by mesoderm. The mesoderm is present in the form of scattered pouches. If this is the gut and this is the endoderm. This is the endoderm, right? And this is coelom in the form of, what is it, pouches. It won't form a cavity. So hence it is called as pseudocoelom, false coelom. Right. So only, what is it, the type of coelom present seen in, what is it, Aschelminthus. Aschelminthus are also called as roundworms. Roundworms are also called as, we can say, nematodes. So this is the thing you have to keep it in mind. So only phylum which belongs to pseudocoelomate, what is that? In coelomates. Coelomates, which includes, what is it, the acoelomates, which includes coelentrates, sponges, coelentrates and platyhelminthes, and Aschelminthus comes under pseudocoelomate, and here from annelids to coelomates, that includes annelids, arthropods, mollusks, echinodermata, hemichordata, chordates, annelids to chordates, which comes under coelomates. So next, circulatory system. Based on circulatory system, so animals can be classified into open circulatory system and closed circulatory system. Open circulatory system and closed. Open circulatory system, in which no blood vessels. You can say that there will be blood vessels, but which are not with all those different types of blood vessels. Large blood vessels will be there, right? Large blood vessels will be there. The passes are through that blood vessel, blood passes into body spaces. So these body spaces are called as sinuses. Here heart will be present that pump the blood through large vessel, but no, what is it, the smaller blood vessels, and we can say that blood, what is it, they pumped out by the heart, and it reaches the cells and tissue directly, not through, what is it, smaller arteries, right? Not through smaller arteries and veins. Here arteries and veins are absent, and blood can be, what is it, the present seen out of the, what is it, the blood vessels. Blood do not passes through the blood vessels completely throughout the body. It can be seen, what is that, between the body spaces called sinuses. That is why all those cells and tissues which are bathed in the blood, means completely submerged ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ in closed vessels, blood always passes through the blood vessels. So blood is circulated through a series of vessels with a varying diameter. Blood is circulated through all those blood vessels which are with a varying diameter, which includes arteries, veins and capillaries. So these are the things which are related to the, what is it, classification. Now let us take phylum, what is it, the Porifera and coelentrates. So phylum Porifera. So as we all know that these are the pore bearing animals which are also called as sponges. And these are aquatic, generally marine. Very few, most of them are, what is it, the present in marine habitat, and some, what is it, the freshwater. Very few, what is it, the freshwater sponge, right? So you can say that the generally one best example, Spongilla. Always they're going to ask, name the freshwater sponge. That is Spongilla. Right? Common name, that is freshwater sponge. Right? So it includes cycone. Right? This is a marine water cycone, commonly called as Saifa. And one more, Euspongia, that is bath sponge. Euspongia, that is commonly called as bath sponge because of the structure resemblance. So here we can say that the level of organization we already discussed with the example, that is cellular level of organization, that is asymmetry. Few will going to show what is it, the radial symmetry, asymmetrical symmetry. And in this there is a, for water transportation, there is a canal system called as water canal system. So water canal system, which includes a minute pores called ostia. So if this is this pond, you can see that is on their body surface minute pores called as ostia. These ostia opens into a body cavity and then which opens out through a large opening called as osculum. So it includes ostia and osculum. So that is what sponges have, a water transport or water canal system. Water enters through minute pores called as ostia and in the body wall, and it enters into a central cavity, that is a body cavity, right, that is called as spongocoel. Central cavity called as spongocoel. From that spongocoel, where it leaves the body through osculum. Right, within this some cells will going to absorb nutrients and they will going to dump waste right into the water. The specialized cells are there, they are called as choanocytes. Specialized cells are there, they are called as choanocytes. So these, what is the choanocytes, which are also called as collar cells. Collar cells. So they play a major role. What is that? Generally, what is it? In the absorption of what is it? The food, and they also helps in, as they are with a flagella, they helps in creating water current. In turn, they also helps in locomotion. Right. So create a water current so that water passes through the ostia which are present on the, what is it, the body surface, and then it also, by creating water current, it absorbs what is it, the water towards the ostia, and that passes through the central cavity where nutrients can be absorbed and excretory waste can be eliminated. Digestion is intracellular. Within the cell, digestion takes place. It's not like how in case of in case of us, right? In case of human being, we can say that always the digestion takes place outside the cell, right? That is extracellular. Here it is intracellular, inside the cell. Intracellular. Digestion is intracellular, and they reproduce both, what is it, the asexually and sexually. They reproduce both asexually and sexually. Asexually by means of fragmentation, right? Sexually by means of gamete formation. So here fertilization is internal, in which development is indirect. What is the meaning of, what is it, the indirect development? During development, larva won't resemble the adult one. So that is called as indirect development. Assume that young one will be there that undergoes series of changes, series of developmental changes, but throughout this, what is this, these stages to reach the adult stage, never resembles the adult you can say parent body, that is indirect. So if it resembles, that is direct. So this is the thing you have to keep it in mind. So let us take some question related to this porifera. And in case of coelenterata, let me explain this. Generally these coelentrates are also called as the second phylum, coelentrates. So coelentrates which are with the tentacles, and these are also called as cnidarians because of the presence of cnidoblast cells, defensive and offensive cells, cnidoblasts, hence the name cnidarians. These are also aquatic, what is it? They are marine and free swimming. Most of them are present in marine and they are free swimming. Right, some are, what is it, the sessile. They won't swim, they will be attached to the substratum. Right, and here symmetry we already discussed, that is in case of sponges we can see radial symmetry, in case of coelentrates radial symmetry. Right, and there are the specialized cells, they are called as cnidoblasts or cnidocytes, right, which are with, what is it, the stinging cell, which used to, what is it, kill the prey or protect, I can say mainly to, what is it, the get protected from the predator, and also, what is it, the captures prey. Stinging cells helps in defensive and offensive, right? So that is defensive and offensive in function, stinging cells. So that is level of organization, tissue level of organization, right? Body cavity is absent, so central cavity is called as gastrovascular cavity, right, with a single opening called hypostome. Gastrovascular, if this is considered hydra, hydra with tentacles, this one opening, this is the gastrodermis, you can say, gastrovascular cavity, and this is called as single opening called as hypostome. Digestion is both extracellular, in this we can say both extracellular and intracellular digestion. Extracellular and intracellular digestion, right? And the other thing which we can say, that the different types of, the spicules are present. Those spicules, right, they provide, body to maintain shape, and they act as skeletal structures, mainly composed of calcium carbonate. Spicules, calcium carbonate. This is a unique nature, right? So here the basic body forms. Cnidarians exhibit two basic body forms during their development. So basic body forms are, one is polyp, other one is medusa. Polyp and medusa. So polyp, example we can say hydra, and here in medusa, example that is Aurelia or jellyfish. Aurelia, or you can say that Aurelia or jellyfish. So what is that exactly? So here it will be, polyp will be cylindrical form and sessile, right? Cylindrical and they are sessile, whereas Aurelia umbrella shape, right? Umbrella shape, and these are free free swimming, right? So this, the alternation of generation, that is polyp, right, develops into medusa, right, medusa into polyp, right? If it is the developmental stage, right, that is what we can say alternation of generation called metagenesis. Metagenesis. So this you have to keep it in mind in case of this. What is that? Both polyp and medusa forms will be there and exhibit alternation of generation called metagenesis. Alternation of generation called metagenesis. Polyp produce medusa, what is it, asexually. Polyp produce medusa asexually and medusae produce, what is it, the polyp sexually. So this is thing to keep it in mind, that is metagenesis, right? So example in case of this we can say obelia, which shows, what is it, which shows metagenesis. So example includes, I already mentioned that hydra, aurelia, obelia, that is called as, commonly called as sea fur, and one more that is very important in case of example Physalia, that is Portuguese man of war. It resembles like, what is it, the warships, right? Portuguese man of, what is it, war. So that is Physalia. And Adamsia, sea anemone. Adamsia, commonly called as sea anemone. Sea anemone. And what is it, the Meandrina, brine coral, Gorgonia, sea fan, and sea fur is Obelia. Obelia is, what is it, sea fur. So now let us take related to this some questions. Later we can say bilateral symmetry accompanied by. So during the development, right, so when the symmetry takes place, so that is associated with cephalization. So in this, what is this symmetry? We know that what is the similarity of body parts, in different regions. In different regions is called as, what is it, symmetry. So during that, the formation of that bilateral symmetry, right, all those which also included cephalization. What is the meaning of cephalization? That is, we can say that the complete all those sense organs and nerve control, right, development, that complete head part. So here we can say that the development of head part. So these are the animals where we can say that the some animals, or you can say that the, like, what is it, the invertebrates, which includes human beings, snakes and birds, head development will be there. So this is what the cephalization seen in vertebrates and also mollusks and arthropods. So this, in which we can say that cephalization means differentiation of the head, or you can say development of head, right? So during bilateral symmetry you can also expect this, right? Spicule producing cells, there are different types: siliceous, spongioblast, what is it, the scaloblast, that is, right, all those, what is it, which will be involved in the formation of spicules, right? Right, spongioblast and calcoblast, that is, this is calcoblast. So next, the members of following phylum represent cellular level of organization. So we know that the organisms which exhibit cellular level of organization, that is porifera, right? Diploblastic animals. So next question in this, diploblastic and triploblastic are, what are these? Generally germ layers, right? So that is different layers which form during embryonic development. So number of the tissue, number of tissue layers during embryonic development. That is what just now I discussed, that how polyp asexually forms the medusa, and medusa sexually forms polyp. Example seen in Obelia. So this is A asexually, B sexually. So here actually it's got merged with the options. So one option we can take, that is first option, A asexually and B sexually. So that is the thing you have to keep it in mind. So answer for that is A. Which of the following is sedentary or does not show locomotion? So sedentary means there will be attached with substratum. So amoeba, it shows locomotion, and then Physalia, that is also hydra, which will be free swimming, but Sypha, which belongs to sponges, which shows sedentary. Right. So which of the following sponge is called Venus flower basket? So that is Spongilla, freshwater sponge, right? Freshwater sponge, Euspongia, bath sponge, right? And same like that, Cliona, boring sponge, bore sponge, or you can say that generally a boring sponge, Sypha, Euplectella, which is called as Venus flower basket. Venus flower basket. Next, the phenomenon of metagenesis occurs in. So what is that metagenesis? Just now we discussed. Polyp to medusa, medusa to polyp. That is in Obelia. Which of the following organism is correctly matched with its common name? Adamsia sea mouse. No, that is sea anemone. Aurelia comb jelly. No, that is jellyfish. Right. And next, Hormipora nuda. No. Right. So Metridium common, that is the Metridium, which is called as sea anemone. That is generally scientific name will say Meandrina brine corals, and which is also called as Adamsia. Metridium, which is also called as Adamsia, right? Sea anemone. Comb plates. So comb plates, these are present in comb jellies, which are also called as Pleurobrachia, right? Pleurobrachia. So comb plates. So this we'll discuss this in the Ctenophora, right? Ctenophora, comb plates, right? So that is spongocele is lined by. So we know that the specialized cells, if you consider this as the body of the sponges, there is a cavity called as spongocele, that is lined by, internally it is lined by collar cells, which are also called as choanocytes with flagella, right? So choanocytes. Sea walnuts and comb jellies, the fertilization is, that is, these are also belongs to Ctenophora, right? Generally called as comb jellies, mainly seen in this case the external fertilization will be there. So 13th, which of the following is the correct set of animals with a blind sac body plan? So this we can say that blind sac means only one opening, and the other opening is not there. So one opening which serves as both mouth and anus, that is, which includes ophiura, fasciola and adamsia, right? Fasciola hepatica, adamsia and ophiura. So with this we can conclude this class. We'll continue in the next class. Thank you.